There's a ton of misinformation and mispronunciation floating around out there on the topic of spondylolisthesis. Well, today I want to talk about what spondylolisthesis is, what it means if you've got one, and most importantly, what steps you can be taking to help yourself. Let's get into this. To better understand what's happening with spondylolisthesis, it's helpful to have some basic knowledge of spinal anatomy. So each vertebra in your spine is comprised of two main parts. There's the front part, known as the vertebral body, and the back part, which is commonly referred to as the posterior elements. And that includes a bunch of stuff like the spinous process, the transverse processes, the articular pillars, and things like that. Now, that front portion of the vertebrae is connected to the back portion of the vertebrae via a narrow bony bridge known as the pars interarticularis. And when there's a spondylolisthesis, it means that a fracture has occurred right in that pars interarticularis, and as a result, the vertebral body, the front portion of the vertebrae, has actually slipped forward in its relationship to the vertebrae above and below. Now, to determine the severity of a spondylolisthesis, a radiologist will take a picture of your spine from the side and they will measure the amount of forward translation of the vertebrae that has come forward. And a spondylolisthesis will be given a grade 1 through 4 depending on the amount of slippage that's taken place. Despite the fact that spondylolisthesis can be a little scary to look at on imaging studies, non-surgical treatments and specifically strength training has proven itself repeatedly to be very effective and the best treatment option by far for the vast majority of people with this condition. Now, initially there was some debate as to the type of exercises that people with spondylolisthesis should perform for maximal relief, but a study out of the Mayo Clinic put this issue to rest beautifully. Essentially, researchers took a bunch of people with spondylolisthesis and they split them up into two groups. Group number 1 did extension-based exercises only, moving in a backward direction. Group number 2 did flexion-based exercises only for an extended period of time. 3 months into their exercise programs, group number 1 that was performing extension-based exercises, nearly 70% of them still had moderate to severe pain, while in group 2, the flexion-based exercisers, only 27% of them still had moderate to severe pain. And when they stayed on their exercise programs up to a 3-year mark, the group that was performing flexion-based exercises dropped down to only 19% that still had moderate to severe pain, while the extension-based group remained unchanged, hovering right around 67%. So keeping that in mind, I've got 3 fantastic flexion-based exercises for you. Exercise number 1 is the McGill curl-up, and this is one of my all-time favorite flexion-based isometric exercises. The only thing that you're going to need for this is a comfortable surface to lie on. Once you've got that, just go flat on your back. Now, it's critically important that you get the technique right when performing this exercise. So let's go through proper setup, starting at the bottom and working our way up. You're going to extend one leg straight out in front of you. The opposite leg, you're going to have the knee bent and the foot should be positioned in line with the knee of the straight leg. From there, moving up to the hands, you're going to take your hands and slide them underneath the small of your back. Your fingertips should be touching. Moving up to the head, you want to make sure that the back of your head, not the top of your head, is in contact with the floor. So you got to drop that chin, engaging the deep neck flexors here. And you'll know you're in the right position when your forehead and your chin are in line with one another. From there, 2 things really important to double check before you start. Number 1, elbows come off the floor like this. That's going to make sure you don't cheat and use accessory muscles to pull you up on this exercise. Number 2, you need to press your tongue firmly to the roof of your mouth. This is going to help close the flexor chain. From there, tongue to the roof of the mouth. Chin dropped, elevate the head and upper back 1 to 2 inches off the floor. Very small movement here. Breathing deep through the nose only, keeping the tongue pressed solidly to the roof of your mouth. 10 to 15 second hold, slowly lower yourself back down to the starting position and relax those elbows down to the floor. Each set of McGill curl-ups consists of a single 10 to 15 second hold. Now initially you'll need 20 to 30 seconds between sets to fully recover before performing a second set. But this exercise is fantastic for building up muscular stamina. And to do that, you want to work on decreasing the amount of rest that you need between subsequent sets. Ideally, you get to the point where all you need is just 5 or 10 seconds, enough time to reset your body before performing that second set. You should work yourself up to the point where you can perform 3 to 5 total sets. Exercise number 2 is the ball crawl, and for this one you're going to need that same comfortable surface to lie on and an exercise ball. Once you've got that, just go flat down on your back. Now you're going to hold the ball straight out in front of you with your arms extended like that. Then you're going to bring your feet up and place them directly in the center of the back portion of the ball. Your hands are going to be placed in opposition to your feet at the front center of the ball, and you're going to be applying continuous downward pressure with your hands while applying resistant continuous upward pressure with your feet. You want to position the ball between the upward and downward pressure so that your back stays completely flat against the floor. If you're too low, your back is going to arch. If you're too high, you're going to round and your butt will come off the floor. So find that sweet spot in the center where your back is completely flat. Get into that same neutral head position where the back of your head is comfortably in contact with the ground, and then maintaining that oppositional pressure, you're going to start slowly crawling on the ball like that. Sometimes it helps to bring your vision down to your heels, the heels of your feet, so that you're staring at those, and that'll help you maintain a neutral neck position and stay really tight through your core while you're performing this exercise. Same rules will apply with the tongue at the roof of the mouth and breathing through the nose. Try rolling for 10 to 20 seconds continuously, maintaining that good oppositional pressure the whole time while looking downward and keeping that neck in a neutral position, and see how intense that contraction is here. You should work yourself up to the point where you can comfortably perform 30 to 60 seconds of continuous crawling with the ball crawl. The third and final exercise is an oscillating abdominal crunch, which allows you to target those exact same muscles, but from a standing position, which makes this a fantastic option for anybody who has difficulty getting down and up from the floor. The only thing that you're going to need for this is a Bodyblade. Once you've got that, you're going to grasp the Bodyblade with a double overhanded grip, and you're going to angle the blade downward towards the ground. From there, you're going to take a wide stance, about 1.5 times the width of your hips, and you're going to bend your knees very slightly, like 10 or 15 degrees only. With the blade held out in front of you, again, flat surface, angled downward, you're going to have a very slight bend in your elbow, somewhere between 10 and 20 degrees. You're going to press the tongue up to the roof of your mouth, and you're going to begin oscillating the blade rapidly downward towards the ground and immediately going upward towards the ceiling in rapid succession. Out in front of you, keeping the tongue in the roof of the mouth. Super intense contraction through the entire core, through your latissimus dorsi and your triceps here on the underside of your arms. Perform this exercise for 20 to 30 seconds continuously, rest for an equal amount of time, and repeat 2 to 3 times. The topic for this video was a suggestion from viewers just like you. So if there's a specific pain, posture, or rehab-related issue that you'd like to see a video about, let me know about it in the comment section down below. Beyond that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here, and I'll see you next time.